What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 29, and we're starting today's episode off as promised with this. Yes, a more detailed discussion on the Manchester City job offered to me on the back of our transfer deadline day with the Saints, and of course I turned it down for realism. Now, of course, moving to a big club would be the next step in this series, but only once we've actually warranted it. For realism, you gotta say, we haven't yet. Man City are above us in the table with 14 games to go in a Champions League spot. They're into the FA Cup last 16. Need I remind you, they're taking on us in the Carabao Cup Final as well. And, in the Champions League, top their group undefeated. And they got Sevilla in the last 16 as well. This is a 5-star team, one of the best teams in the world, let alone one of the best teams in England. I have guided Southampton to a mid-table finish in my managerial career so far, and to be fair, one domestic cup final, but let's be honest here, Manchester City choosing me as their successor for Pep Guardiola is incredibly unlikely. And again, I'm often quick to point it out, in football anything can happen. I do totally take the point. In the past decade, we have seen managers go from clubs that are not the biggest of statures in the Premier League to bigger jobs. For example, with Spurs, Nuno going there in the summer didn't last very long, but even so, Mauricio Pochettino from the Saints to the Spurs, of course, had a great stint there at Tottenham Hotspur, and with Liverpool, Brendan Rodgers moving on to Anfield. I'm sure there are other cases I'm forgetting as well, but even so, if you want, Frank Lampard going to Chelsea, a bit different though of him being a club legend, but even so, I haven't justified getting a job offer like that. So whilst it would be incredible to be offered it, and you best believe if it was offered to me, I would take it in any other save, it's not justified in this one. So far with the Saints, we haven't done anything yet. I mean, yeah, okay, domestic cup final, first time in the save, but let's be honest here, last year we were mid-table, and okay, having a great season right now, in fourth and have an outside shot at Champions League football, that would be incredible, but until we've actually done something like that, I don't really think we justify it just yet, at least not in my opinion. So for realism's sake, I'm going to turn that down. In a year or two, once we've made more progression with this team and we've done more noteworthy things, then sure, moving to a big club would make sense. But right now, why on earth would I be chosen to succeed Pep Guardiola? And why would they sack him either? I know it's not their best season so far, but third place, not even off the title race yet. I mean, seriously. Anyway, for the first game of today's episode, Spurs away in North London, coming on the back of our, well, let's just say, relieving win over Rotherham United in the FA Cup fourth round replay. I mean, do you want to get Leicester again? Can you believe it? We had them last year in the last 16. We got them again, this time away at the King Power, though, instead of being at home. And taking on Spurs in the first game of today's episode, do you see pre-game, I had to include it. I talked about it when we signed him. He's not the same player anymore despite having a good season for us, and I don't believe he's got that many years left in the tank. Gareth Bale, considering retirement, I'd love to get at least one more year out of him for next season, but if this is his final year, not a bad comeback for Gareth Bale in his homecoming. And speaking of homecoming, coming to the team that, if you will, sort of made him into the player that he is, Spurs' first game today at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 13 minutes in. Oh, goodness gracious me. Lookman bags his 10th for the year, but Hugo Lloris, you'd think he knows his way around North London by now. Doesn't even know the way around his own penalty area. What is this? I mean, we talked about goalkeepers this year. They are just so error prone, and I've mentioned before, I like it because it's realistic, but at times, they do the most bizarre things. I mean, what on earth was that? In the words of Chris Move, where are you going? I mean, honestly, that was just absolutely embarrassing from the Frenchman there. Just gave me so much room to aim at, so much of the goal to aim at, and all I needed to do was loop it round him and get it on target. Do that, it's a goal, exactly what we did. And Ademola Lookman's 10th in 20th. What a sign, and he's been from Leipzig, gives us the lead away at Spurs. And he almost got our second as well, 20 minutes in. Lloris making amends, if you will. Good stop there at the near post, keeping it at 1-0, but 26 minutes in, this was interesting. Gareth Bale picks the ball up just inside the Southampton half, and from the halfway line tries to catch Lloris off his line, and it's tipped over the bar. by the Frenchman. Oh, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying so hard. I said I'm making it my mission in this year's FIFA to get a halfway line goal for just the second time in all the years I spent on YouTube, and the first since FIFA 14. I've come close this year. Bale so close there. Back against Spurs. Tipped over by Lloris. Still 1-0. It was a great first half, though. You know, both teams getting chances, both teams getting opportunities, both goalkeepers make some great saves as well, including right here before the break. What a stop by Raya, pushing this header onto the crossbar as we survive heading into half-time, leading in North London, and we were 45 minutes away from our first Premier League scalp of the day. This will be a massive win right now with Spurs outside of the top 4 if we can hold on to it in our outside shot of qualifying for the Champions League. So Spurs couldn't afford a loss in this game, and they played well in the first half, but in the second half they really were on it. 5 minutes after the restart, great save by Raya, kept us still leading, but as I tried to counter from a corner here, 58 minutes in, gave the ball away, Rafael Leao finds Harry Kane, and Spurs' legend up top gets them back on level terms. It was coming as well. It was coming. The fact we survived till half-time, still leading by 1, was a surprise. And I wasn't surprised to see them find their level as soon after the restart. 1-1. The question was, can we at least hold on to a point, which we got at this ground last season? With 20 minutes to go, Kane finds Rafael Leao, returns the favour, rolls it across, and the number 9 fires it home for Spurs' goal as they come from behind to lead in North London, make it 2-1, and with 20 minutes to go, I just couldn't find a level. A final score, Conte Spurs 2, Southampton 1. Big blow there, and the common problem continues. 2 goals conceded in 10 minutes. Spurs come from behind to win, and probably justifiably so, all things considered, but we just can't beat the big teams. And I hate to say it, but this is what is stopping us from making the next step forward. We've beaten Arsenal in the EFL Cup. We've beaten Chelsea in the EFL Cup. But we haven't beaten any of the big teams, any of the traditional top 6 in the Premier League. Every single attempt. In fact, I think we've only got a point against them. We got a point at Anfield this season at Liverpool. We got a point against them at St Mary's last season. We got a point against Spurs last season. Got a point against Man City last season. But we just can't beat them. And, you know, draws against the big teams for a growing club like ours is good. But it's not going to get you in the top 4. You cannot expect to lose or draw in the 12 games you have against the top 6 and expect to break them up and qualify in the Champions League. You need to beat them. You need to beat them at least once or twice. We still haven't done it yet, and that's why I don't think we're a Champions League caliber club yet. And whilst there's 13 games to go, and we're only just outside the top 4 now after dropping down to it, I'm not sure we can battle for it in the remaining 13 games. We need to go on a good run, otherwise we're going to fall off the pace and we'll be in danger of dropping out of the Europa League and Europa Conference League spots altogether. Still, we have seen Hector Busquets, is going to go out on loan for next season. It's so frustrating when you want to loan a player out and the deal goes through outside of the transfer window. It's like, God, can't you just sneak out of the window? You know, can't you just creep out of the gap in the window there? Because we don't need him and we won't play him until the end of the season. And I want him to develop, but he'll leave on loan next season. He's going to Augsburg in Germany. If you watch my Bielefeld career mode, you'll know they were like my arch nemesis in that save. He's going to Augsburg. He'll get some first-team football there, and he desperately needs it. He's grown a rating. He's up to 18 years old now, behind Johnston and David Raya. He's not going to get a minute of game time, so a full season's worth of first-team football away in the Bundesliga next season is going to do our French teenage talent some real good. Anyway, second game of today's episode. The Gunners here at St Mary's looking for revenge after we knocked them out of the EFL Cup semis at this very ground with our 2-1 victory. Heading into the game right now below us in the table, the Gunners are in danger of missing out on European football altogether for Season 3. And starting the game off, a great save by Ramsdale kept it at 0-0, but 21 minutes in, man. You know I'm a sucker for a nice assist. This was absolutely glorious. One of those goals where I don't mind conceding it because I want to watch the replay and watch it again. It was actually really cool. You see Martinelli is the beneficiary here turning it in, but look at this for a back heel. This is unbelievable from Alexander Isak. Eyes in the back of his head or what, man? Seriously, picks out the Brazilian. Martinelli's 4th in 8, averaging 1 in every 2, and the Brazilian puts the Gunners in front 22 minutes in. And I was thinking, okay, alright, it's okay. We've beaten Arsenal before, albeit in the EFL Cup. It came at this ground. We can come from behind to win. We've done it before. Don't throw in the towel. 25 minutes in, though, once again, Aaron Ramsdale makes a great save, this time on Che Adams. We still trail by a goal. And I had some chances in this game. Ramsdale made a couple of great saves. We were still down by a goal. 55 minutes in, another fine save by Aaron. And I mentioned briefly in a previous episode, what a signing he's been, man. Seriously. Absolutely great addition to the Arsenal team this year, and so many people were questioning his price tag when he came in the summer. He's definitely justified it, and he's only going to get better as well. But even so, we were trailing by a goal, and I felt so harshly trailing by a goal as well. We'd had some good chances. Ramsdale had made some good saves. I didn't think we deserved to be behind in this one, but 60 minutes in, as Martinelli turns in a Bukayo Saka cross, that will make it 2 with half an hour to go, and that would surely kill us off. When you've got a spell of pressure and when you're performing really well, you got to get a goal. Like, if you're behind and you're performing well for a period of time in the game, you've got to make sure you get back on level terms at some point, because at some point in the game, momentum will change, because we know how OP momentum is, and when it does, it's so tricky to get back in it once you've used up your chances. Exactly what happened in this game. Martinelli at the double sees Arsenal get the win. Don't think I deserved to lose this game. Probably deserved a point, but even so, in the end, didn't take any chance, and that's why I get nothing. Back-to-back losses against Spurs and Arsenal. The North London lads record back-to-back wins against Southampton, and that does mean, well, I've talked about the league table, now how congested it is, from 4th place down to 7th, and only in that Europa Conference League spot on goal difference ahead of 3 teams as well. 2 points behind Spurs in 4th now. Wolves, Leicester and Arsenal have the same amount of points as us with 12 games to go, and we only have goal difference to keep us in 7th for now. Yep, I gotta say, I'm really struggling now to keep hold of our chances of qualifying for Europe. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Career, guys. Big fan of watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you like, much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode. Do not miss it. Our first ever domestic cup final, where we are major underdogs against Manchester City. EFL Cup final against Guardiola's side, and I'll see you for it very soon.